Okay, guys, so let's get started. People will keep on joining. All right. So, well, this in this module, we are going to cover about vCenter server. We'll see the overview of vCenter. What is the vCenter and how it's going to help to manage the ESXi host and running virtual machine. And yeah, definitely we will see demo around deployment of vCenter server appliance. And yeah, we'll see the whole activities, what we can perform around vCenter server. So all these things we are going to cover in these different modules. First is a theoretical module where we'll see how it will do the centralized management and connectivity method. Then deployment and vSphere licensing, managing the vCenter server inventory, roles and permissions, backup, restore, monitoring, and vCenter server high availability. So these are the primary key lessons. So in lesson 1, centralized management with vCenter server. So we'll talk about the architecture and we'll see how the communication happens between ESXi and vCenter, and then identify the vCenter server services. What are available services in vCenter server. So about vCenter server as in management. So it's work as in centralized administration point for your ESXi host and the vCenter. And yeah, that's a centralized repo from where you can give the command to your ESXi host to perform the certain actions, and also to your VMs as well. For example, creating any networking construct, storage construct, monitoring, alerts, alarms, creating VM, deleting VMs, and all, right? So questions comes in, sir, that's all thing I can perform through my ESXi also. Why do we need the vCenter server? All right. So ESXi is always an isolated and independent host. With that, we cannot configure any clustering feature, any high availability, right? Any resource management. And from networking perspective, we cannot configure their distributed switch. All right. So we cannot migrate the VM from one host to another host. That all these are the key tasks that's being primarily managed by your vCenter server only. Okay. So if we have number of hosts to manage them centrally and running all the running VMs, we require the vCenter server. And a vCenter server comes in a form of a Linux-based appliance. When we say the appliance, it is pre-packed with some operating system and my vCenter server services. All right. So what is inside the appliance? So inside the appliance, it have an operating system, that is Photon operating system. So Photon normally it's a enhanced version of Linux itself, but now this is made by doing some customization by VMware. For an database, it use PostgRE SQL database as an inbuilt DB, but you don't need to install anything. That's already available, and it have all vCenter services in a form of a appliance. All right. When we say in a form of appliance, it is a pre-pack appliance with all these services. But yeah, somewhere we have to deploy it as in a form of virtual machine in any of the ESXi host you are using in your environment. All right. And the deployment size is depend upon the environment. It comes with the different sizes like tiny, small, large, okay, medium. So that size is depend upon the how many number of ESXi or how many number of VMs we are going to manage by this vCenter server. When we say about vCenter services, services means what all things being available. So these are the core services are available. vCenter server itself. So if vCenter server is enabled, then only we can access the console on vSphere client. vSphere client service is for end user to access the vCenter server and work upon that. vCenter single sign-on, that's primarily used for your authentication purpose. Any kind of login we are doing. So first of all, we get a page for username and password. So that's all being taken care by the vCenter single sign-on. Then license services, like if we need to do the licensing of my vCenter server, that's all licensing is valid, update or not, it's being taken care by this vCenter lookup services. That's a lookup service is enabled to, you know, to check the available available records, kind of if it will create its directory services itself, so it will check all inside things. Then certificate authority, VMware have its own CA, that's we called as an VMCA, that's manage the vCenter certificates. Content library is the centralized repo where we can install the template, ISO images and all for the future references. Dump collector, where we can collect the ESXi memory, running ESXi memory, CPU, storage, network dumps. Then when you deploy vCenter server appliance, all these features are included. So all these services you could see, there is a big list, but some of the services are mandatory. That's keep on running during the deployment, but sometime some services not working and all. So we have to check and we have to log in into vCenter server. So once vCenter server will deploy in a form of VM, if we want to log in into local console of that vCenter server in UI mode, you will just type https colon fully qualified domain name or IP address 5480. Then you can check the running services status, all these things, summary, what about my vCenter, monitor, access, networking, firewall, time. These all are available as a local console. So this console is always different from your vSphere client console. All right, are we clear? So how it's going to be deployed in your environment and how it will be accessed. So in your environment, this this appliance will deploy in any of the ESXi host. So for that, what you need to do, like this is your desktop machine from where you are trying to access this any of ESXi host. Then this appliance pack should be available here in a form of a setup in ISO. That ISO need to be mounted here. Once you will mount, you will start the deployment and it will ask you all detail about target host and all. So once deployment happen, it will deploy this vCenter server appliance deploy is any of one ESXi host, and it will have a Photon operating system. It will have its inbuilt database, and it will have the vCenter server services. All right, and like as I said, if you want to access the local console of this ESXi, of this vCenter, then that's console we refer as VAMI, WAMI. WAMI is the same thing what I was just describing in previous slide, https colon / IP or FQDN, fully qualified domain name, and then colon 5480. But if you want to log in into vSphere client, then we need to simply type https colon / fully qualified domain name or IP address of your vCenter server. Okay. So once you will open this, it will get a empty console. There would not be nothing. Then you have to create all the required inventories, all data, etc. Inside the vCenter server console. When we say about single sign-on, so single sign-on provide always an authentication. From that, we can access multiple vSphere client by using a secure token mechanism. When we say the secure token mechanism is, if we log in by using the single sign-on, then if in case we have integrated my single sign-on service with kind of Active Directory, then for example, you have integrate SSO with your local Active Directory environment, and some user is trying to access this vSphere client HTTPS username password. Then first of all, this will you will type here, it will go to single sign-on service. Then in the back end, it will use a SAML mechanism to send your Active Directory interface and check whether that is a valid user is available in Active Directory or not. Then after getting a confirmation from there, you will be able to log in into vSphere client. However, VMware also have its own local directory that we create during the deployment section, but also vSphere single sign-on normally in production environment where number of customers are using using the same vCenter server. We don't rely too much on the inbuilt accounts. We always integrated with the Active Directory. Okay, so next is enhanced link mode. Enhanced link mode, simply we say when we deploy we want to deploy the multiple vCenter server under same single sign-on service so that we can manage the multiple vCenter server from a single point. So for example, if I will deploy here one vCenter server appliance, it will have its own SSO services and any kind of authentication for the vCenter server will happen this via this service. And if I will deploy vCenter server 2, it will have its SSO service and it will have a separate vCenter server. So what it means is, if a customer is deploy multiple number of vCenter server in their environment for login different vCenter server, always I have to use the separate consoles. But what enhanced link mode do for me? Enhanced link mode say me, if you have number of vCenter server, use the common SSO for them. Deploy first vCenter, deploy one SSO. Okay. And if in case you are deploying second vCenter server, deploy the same SSO, single sign-on services that you are using for first one. So in that way, what benefits you will get? Whenever you will try to log in any of the vCenter server within a single console, you would able to see the management console for all of the vCenter servers. That's how enhanced linked mode help us. All right, in enhanced link mode, so far limit is 15 vCenter server within single SSO domain. That's limit is defined by the VMware. So you could see here in this screen, I could see on a single screen 2 vCenter server management console. This is just because of enhanced link mode is enabled. When I say enhanced link mode is enabled, it means that both vCenter server are using the common single sign-on services, common SSO. Okay, are we clear on it? Any question, any doubt so far, guys?
Sir, how we can check, suppose if there is environment, how we can check the both vCenters link mode? Is there?
Now, automatically, when you will log in any of the vCenter, 2 vCenters will present there.
Okay.
Yeah, and also if you will see their domain name, SSO domain name, that would be common for all, for both.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, if it is like a different domain name, we can't. Only we have to have a same domain name. Then the enhanced link mode is applicable, right?
Yeah, automatically it would be same. Na? For first vCenter, you have deploy one. Then the second one, you are using existing SSO domain. So in existing, you will refer the same SSO domain, right? Now, common name could be for different also. That's not a problem, right? But whenever we are deploying, we have to choose the existing SSO and we have to give the existing SSO name. Clear?
Okay.
Yeah, common name could be like you are using one vCenter, you put the same SSO domain name. I am using one, I am using the same SSO domain, but there is no relation, right? But yeah, if I am using yours SSO domain during deployment, my vCenter server, second vCenter server, then automatically they will be part of linked node and they will be manageable from the single console.
Okay.
Yeah. So when we access this is my primary vCenter service. His name is vSphere Diamond. That's we called as vSphere Diamond service is available. So whenever we access through vSphere client, my vCenter, this is because of this vCenter service. All right. And when we connect any of the ESXi host in my vCenter server environment, it means that time my vSphere agent, this is vSphere Diamond service, this is vSphere agent service, this vSphere agent service start communication to my vCenter. Okay, then only I could see this ESXi as a inventory in my vCenter server. And if I am accessing the host individually, like host client we normally using since yesterday, so for this is because of this host D service. Okay, that is host Diamond service. All right. So most of the time we have seen like some of the time ESXi is not visible in vCenter. I check ping is working, physical connectivity is okay. So that point of time we have to start the VPXA, vSphere agent services. Okay, that's available in my ESXi service console. Some of the time we are not able to access the vCenter server itself. Then we have to start the vCenter service, but from where we have to log in individually in this WAMI console in the local UI, right? HTTPS colon IP then 5480. Okay.
Sir,
So,
so it's no impact on running VM, right, sir? If we restart host T and VPX service.
this is service are in your ESXi host actually, Hoshiyar. What's your specific question?
Sir, is there no impact is running VM? So if we restart these both services.
No. That's a host management service only.
Okay.
These are host management services.
Okay, sir. Sometimes what I saw is in vCenter, ESXi goes in not responding state. Sir, what is the reason if why it's go? So when we restart the services, then it's come up. When we reconnect, so why it goes in not responding in
Did you
vCenter?
ever check this service?
No, sir.
That's the reason I was telling you now. So if any host goes in non-respond state, it means that my VPXA is not properly talking to the VPXT service. Except all my physical connectivity is okay. When I say physical connectivity, ping and all firewall port is required 443. That's all is working fine. Then this is primarily service. We have to restart that case.
Okay.
Yeah. Sometimes it's not mandated to restart the entire host. Go and check this vSphere agent services that's available in your ESXi host. Then it would be enough to connect with it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So these are the scalability metrics for my vCenter. Maximum host I can support 2500 powered on VM this, powered off this, host per cluster 64, VMs per cluster 8000. The max configuration, it could be different for the different version of vCenter server. All right. So next, let us see about deployment. So for deployment, before deploying all vCenter server system requirement is use your ESXi host where you are going to deploy. Should be sufficient storage, memory, CPU, fully qualified domain name, and the time sync could be available with your ESXi or NTP server you are using. Then how you are going to deploy? So as I tell you somewhere, you have to locally download the appliance, then mount as a CD or DVD drive. When you will mount, you will see different type of directory. So inside Win32, you will get a setup installer. Inside this Win32 directory, you will get vCenter server installer setup. You will start it. Once you will start it, you will get an option install, upgrade, migrate, restore. Install is always for fresh installation. Upgrade is always when you are doing upgradation, let us suppose from VCS 6.7 to VCS 7.0, that's upgrade. Migrate. Normally, if we are migrating the configuration from one vCenter to another vCenter server, and restore, sometime you have performed the backup earlier in past, but due to XYZ reason, your vCenter server got crashed, then you have to build a new vCenter server and you have to restore the data that is somewhere available in some file server where you have put the backup. So these are the different options for we'll get during the installation part. So the overall installation complete in 2 stages. Stage 1 is deploy the appliance. Okay, and stage 1 will perform all these steps, and stage 2 will configuring the appliance. When we say configuring, the time service, single sign-on domain, customer improvement experience, credentials, that all will be done in the second phase. Okay, once it will get deployed, you will be able to log in through the vSphere client. vSphere client again in build service, there's not separate software, HTTPS and then FQDN or IP address. Then you will be able to see this. First time there would be nothing. This is only the things you will get there. Then you will keep on starting your virtual data center, clusters, whatever you need, adding the node in cluster. Okay, adding nodes, then add further node into clusters. So whatever you want, you have to be perform. Then for local console access, you will log in through this console we refer as WAMI. So WAMI console is primarily used for the local management. When I say local management, you could see summary of this. You can monitor, access the networking. These networking details are primarily for vCenter server, what firewall port, time services, running services, update. Okay, administration, you will set username and password, syslog, backup and restore. That all configuration can be done from the WAMI console. All right. So I will finish just this quick lesson. Then we will go for deployment section. So when we say the licensing, so licensing services allow me to manage the licenses for your vSphere and vCenter server. But for that, the service should be start from vCenter WAMI console. That is by default started. By the way, for managing your ESXi and vCenter server license, under menu administration, under administration section, licensing is the tab. For each appliance, first you add the key, add the license key, then apply the license key to your assets. Assets means here is your ESXi and your vCenter server. All right, so like you could see here, first you have to add the key. Once key is added, go to assets, under assets, assign license key, choose the license key, whatever you have available, then choose your appliance, vCenter server appliance. Here you would see, like, if I'll click host, then you may find the list of host. So for the host, you can assign the licenses. Okay, so we could see the product summary, whether it is evaluated or licensed. So by default, VMware provide the evaluation license. Evaluation license are valid for 60 days, but within 60 days, you have to update your licenses for the vSphere environment. All right, are we clear so far? Okay, so guys, let's get started for the deployment of a vCenter server appliance. All right, so being as an prerequisite, what we need to have, we should have the details of vCenter, where like what should be my location, okay, like physical location, and yeah, definitely we have to create the DNS record, their fully qualified domain name and an IP address in my DNS. I should be aware with the NTP which of the service I should use. I should be aware what should be the size. I should be aware with credentials. Credentials I mean is what would be my username, especially for administration and that. So vCenter again, it's not a very much repetitive exercise, and I should be aware what should be my SSO domain name. Okay, as it is not a repetitive exercise, we have to perform it like most of the time when we are building a new data center or a new physical site. Okay, so for deploying it, as I said, you can pick any of the target ESXi host, and somewhere you have to a Windows server available. It could be your virtual machine itself. Then you will download here your VCSA appliance, or maybe you can put here a local in somewhere in underlying storage, and you can mount this appliance into Windows based appliance. Then you go ahead and you will start the deployment activity, and your vCenter server will get deployed. Any of the ESXi host from where I can reach to from this Windows server. So what we are going to do in our lab, we already have a physical ESXi server. Inside this, I have a Windows machine that is also working for me DC and DNS as well. All right, so I have the one moment. Yeah, I have this. I have this appliance. This appliance being uploaded in local data store here. Then I'm going to mount it. Then I'm going to start to building a VCS. But again, I have to create a fully qualified domain name in DNS. So I'm going to create with an IP 00. What I should take? Okay, 31. 255.255.255.0. Then I'll start the deployment. All right, and a vCenter server will be deployed. Okay, so this I am showing this demo for deployment purpose only, but for I have already deployed another vCenter server that we are using for future reference, but this is for the demo purpose. All right. I will make it lab vcs2 vmlab.local. vmlab.local is my domain name, and this would be the FQDN. Okay, so let's get started. Who wanna enjoy this? Who wants to perform this activity? I will instruct, don't worry about that. No one? Who wants to take control? Yes, no, any answer? No
I
one?
will do, sir. Yes, I will do. I will.
Shiva.
Yes.
Okay. Take my control.
Sir, actually I'm connected with phone.
No problem. No problem. I'm saying whomever wants to do, just request. Okay, I have to give the control. All right. Later, don't blame me, sir. I didn't install the vCenter because it's not a daily exercise, right? So first step, what I am going to do is, I'm creating a fully qualified domain name record, FQDN record, all right? So for that, we have to go in DNS first. See why I have give you control. Probably you can proceed.
Oh.
Go to tools. DNS. Forward lookup zone. Yeah, vmlab.local. Right click. Add new host record. Give lab vcs2 dot
Lab.
vcs2 vcs2 C for Calcutta. Yes. Yeah, and come in IP section. Put an IP 10.0.0.31.
10.0.31.
So we are using this IP range for management purpose. Okay. Allow
Okay.
PTR record, add host. Just simply add host. Yeah, create PTR, add host.
Add host. Okay.
Okay. Done.
Yeah. Is it?
That's fine. So let me, one moment. I have to stop sharing for a moment. I'll be back because I am not able to restore the console. All right, all right. You see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, now we are going to log in into my ESXi host where we need to deploy this. So this is my physical server. So right click on WinD. So we can take any of the Windows server. Okay, any. You have deploy any jump server over, but for this lab purpose, I am using DC itself. So right click on WinDC. Oh, I have to give control. Yeah, just right click, edit.
Click.
Edit setting. What I'm doing in this step, I am just mounting the appliance ISO. Come down, CD DVD drive, expand it. Yeah, data store ISO file. Browse it again. It should be empty. So go to ISO images.
This one, sir?
No. ISO images folder. Drag it slowly. Yes. Choose the top one. That is my vCenter server appliance ISO.
Okay.
Select it. Save it. Okay, check the connect power on option is available. So now this ISO is mounted in my WinDC machine. All right. So on my taskbar, you could see a RDP is already there. Taskbar of my, yeah, open this. Yes. Now close it. Close. Yeah, go to folders. Yes. Now go to, this PC. Now you could see AISO is mounted here.
Yes,
Click
sir.
on it. Click on it. UI installer. Last folder. Yeah. Win32. Installer. Yeah. Click on installer. Just want to check if recording. Yeah, recording is in progress. That's fine. So in installer section, you will find install, upgrade, migrate, restore that I have already described you. So now just click on install. Yeah, click anywhere. Yeah, that's fine. So we are not using any additional external SSO this time. We are deploying with the new SSO service. Okay. So now click next. Accept the license agreement. Click next. It's asking me the target host details. So my target host IP here is 10.0.0.2. 10.0.2. Username root. So, and password is capital V MWARE 1 exclamation. Click next. As if you have some doubt anywhere, feel free to ask. Okay. So accept the certificate warning. It should yes, click yes. So it will validate the connection. So in this case, from the server where I am running the setup and the target ESXi, a connectivity should be there over the network. All right. So that would be my appliance name. So let us give the same name what we are using inside for FQDN. Lab VCS2 dot VMLab dot log.
I remove, sir, this one.
Yeah. Give the name lab VCS2 dot VMLab dot local. No, VMLab.
Sorry.
My domain name is VMLab.
Lab
dot local. Set the root password. Give the same password. Capital V MWARE 1 exclamation. Yeah, repeat the same password. Click next. So and underline, you could see the deployment size for tiny, small, and all what it will take. So for my environment setup, I'm just going to use this vCenter for deployment purpose. So again, it depends upon number of hosts, number of VMs we are going to manage. So for this setup, we'll keep tiny as in default size. But if you will click on this arrow here, you will get the different sizes, right? So on the basis of my requirement, I have to choose the right size. Yeah, click next. Select the data store on the host. Yes, so enable thin disk mode because, yeah. Then next. Then, yeah, this VM network where I'm going to connect, IP address should be static. Type the fully qualified domain name, the same name, lab VCS2 dot. So this would be the actual name that would be accepted inside the appliance.
Lab VCS
2. dot vmlab dot local. IP address 10.0.31. That's what you are given, right?
Yes.
Dot 31. 31. Subnet mask 255.255.255.0. Gateway 10.0.0.1. Yeah. 101. No. Last is 101.
This one, sir?
Yes,
Yes.
correct. This is my DNS.
No, DNS server, what?
101.
Same IP I need to type, sir.
Last 101. Dot 101 in last 10.0 dot yes dot 101.
Okay, got it.
This is my DNS I am using. This server from where you are deploying, this is my DNS server also. So for this, my IP is 101, right?
Okay.
Next, yeah, come down first. Maybe there is some credentials are available. That's fine. We'll use the default port. Click next. Finish. So wait. Guys, any doubts so far? Oh, you have finished it. No issues. Anyway, these all the details we have to summarize first. And if everything is well, as per the details we have given, FQD and IP and all, so it will take 20 to 25 minutes for completing the stage 1 deployment. All right. So till that time, let's finish the another module theory part, and we will keep this on monitoring. All right. Are we good?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so I think I have to stop sharing for a moment because okay, so can you try to restore this RDP, because on my screen I'm getting this Zoom console. That's why I'm not able to see. Can you try Siva from right corner, just smaller the window? Yeah, that's what I was expecting. Thank you very much. All right, so let's keep it running and jump back to the rest of modules. We'll keep on monitoring that deployment because there is one more stage is pending, that is stage 2. It's going to take, yeah, it's depend upon your hardware configuration and all. Typically it's take 45 to 1 hour minute. Okay, 45 minutes to 1 hour time. So when we say the vCenter server inventory is nothing like what you are going to create inside your vCenter. You can go inside menu, you will check all these options are available. So whatever you want to use, host and cluster, go ahead and do that. VM and templates, storage, networking. So yeah, in home tab, there is shortcut tab. Under shortcut, you can go ahead and you can do that. Or if in case you try to find out any of the object, you can find that. One moment. Sorry, guys. So all these steps are, you will keep on using host and cluster, then VM template, storage, content library, policies. That's you will keep on running. So that's all part of your vCenter inventory. Okay. So as I said, the first time you will get an empty vCenter console, then you will create data center. Under data center, you can create the number of clusters you want. All right. So if I'll click host and cluster inventory, you could see here this tab is for host and cluster. This is data center. This is one cluster, and these are number of hosts. This is for VM and template. If I'll click on VM template, you could see under this data center how many virtual machines and if there is some templates are available. Same way, if you will click on storage, you will get the detail of data stores available inside the cluster, whether those are local or shared. And if you will click on networking, then you will find the same way your network details, the port groups available inside that. So these are some examples of inventory you are going to do. All right. So if you want to see any underlying object information, like for example, you have ESXi host, you will get a lot of tabs, summary, monitor, configure, permissions, data store, network updates. Those going to be used for different purposes. So so vCenter object is nothing, just whatever the, like you have created a data center. This is one example. You have created a cluster. This is one example of object. This is another example of object. All right. You have created some folder, subfolder. All these are the example of, beside the native inventory available, if you are creating something new, that is an object. Okay. Well, you can create your inventory inside some to manage the objects in some folders as well. You can create folders in different sections. When I say different sections, you can create folder for your data center, VM and template, data storage, network. Like for example, you say, this is my Northeast DC. Under this Northeast DC, this is my cluster 1. So this could be inside a folder itself. Same way you can create your folders inside the VM and template inventory. For example, you say these are my backup appliances, you make a separate folder. DB appliances, you make separate folder. General VMs, you make separate folder. Same way for data store, like you could say DC1 data stores, DC2 data stores, like that. or maybe you could say this DS is dedicated to DB data stores. You will keep only DB VM. Same way for networking, you can make the networking folders. So folder is nothing, just to manage your inventories. You can keep on adding. So, well, we can create number of objects, data center, folders, host, and all that we can add inside the data center. So that we will keep on doing that, add host, creating cluster near in vCenter. When we will use, we can even in vCenter for VM object, you could see a lot of tabs will be available: configure, manage, storage, network, edit setting, from where you can manage power, guest OS, tools, snapshot, remote console, migrate, clone, template, fault tolerance. All these options, there is thousands of options are available that you are going to use. All right. So we'll see to create data center, ESXi host to the inventory. And yes, that's all. We can configure our inventories and object inside the vCenter server. All right. So for that, as I said, especially for the training purpose, I have already created one more vCenter server in the environment. So let me power on that vCenter server, and let me just show you some of these available options. All right. So meanwhile, let us check the progress. Where are we so far? So we are on 80%. On 80%, it's always take some time. Okay, so we should wait, keep some patience. So I have started the another vCenter server so that I can show you a quick walkthrough in inventory objects and all details. So let's wait. This is getting restarted. So we have to wait till the time it will get restart. Again, I'm saying you for your future lab purpose, I am not going to use number of vCenter servers. So this vCenter server, that is for just to tell you how to deploy. Then near in future, we will use this vCenter server. All right, are we clear?
Yes, sir.
All right, so this is the name what we have done it. So how we will access this? So I can browse it even from my browser itself. So this name is vcs1.vmlab.local. So it is in power on stage. Let's wait for some time. All right, so it's crossed this 80%. So now it will not take too much time. Yeah, I think it's started completely. Let me just try to refresh my console. No, it will take, because some of the services take some time after OS reboot. So are we clear on the way we are deploying? I don't think so. It's a very much challenging thing. It's pretty easy.
Yes, sir. So far.
Wait. Because a lot of services need to be restart. Allow some time. Let us check the, oh, it's in 81%. We'll theory part we'll keep till this, and tomorrow we'll discuss this permission and all, and also we'll do some hands-on as well. But before that, let it be complete first. Can I try for So this is, I'm just trying to log in the local console, the WAMI interface. For WAMI, we will always use the root credentials. That's the local interface of this vCenter. That's not the vSphere client. So from there, we can check the overall health, status, licensing, administration, and other components, right? So always allow 5-10 minutes. Normally, we don't keep shut down vCenter each and every time. But yes, when it's boot first time, it need 5 to 10 minutes to set it up. Okay, now it goes to 90%, our phase 1 or stage 1. So it's near to complete. But it is not still booting. Just there. Okay, let's just allow some time, leave it. It's 91% so far. For now, we can see the WAMI console is turned on for this. Meanwhile, let us see the options, what is available. So in summary, you could see the host name, its version, build number, uptime. See the overall health is good. CPU memory domain is vSphere.local. That is my SSO domain. Then in under monitor section, we could see the utilization of its resources that's being assigned. Okay, so everything seems fine so far.
Here is one question. Here is a one tab like backup. Okay, so
Parveen, allow me
okay,
some time, man. I'm coming. I'm going one by one. So from access setting, I can do SSH to that because I have enabled this service during the deployment. So if you will disable any or bash shell, if we are loading, we do su command during the deployment. So timeout value, if you want to set, you can set. DCUI is nothing. DCUI just the local console we can launch. Like if you could see, this is my DCUI for this appliance. All right. Networking section, we could see all the details. What is TCP IP setting? What is fully qualified domain name? What is the NIC? What is MAC? What is IP4 I have assigned to that? What is gateway? If you want to change anything from here, we can. Proxy setting, if some proxy is available in my environment and we want to direct our traffic to FTP, we enable it. Okay, just give the name of FTP server, username and password. All right. So there is some HTTP or HTTPS communication that's primarily used for when you push your backup data or something like through proxy, then you can enable all the details, FTP server, username, password, HTTPS service. If there is some HTTPS server, okay, that's all you can enable from here. Then firewall. So if you want to make some firewall rule within my vCenter, I can configure some firewall rule or port numbers. You want to allow or deny some of the traffic to your vCenter server. Under time services, you could see it's taking this time zone, etc, UTC 0. My time synchronization is from my host. If you want to change to a specific NTP server you are using in your environment, give the NTP server detail. Okay, till the time my time is being synchronized with my ESXi host. So these all are the services. Some of the services you could see automatic. When I say automatic, I could see the status of all the services that we were talking about there, license service, vCenter service, Okay, vCenter server profile. So these all are the listed services are available here. Your PSC, single sign-on, everything is available here, right? Update perspective, what current version I'm using, but if near in future I need to upgrade my vCenter server, either I have enabled proxy or I have to be enable internet for this IP address. So it will not show you any new version because of that. We have not enabled internet access for this vCenter server. Okay, the new pack will be available here. You can select and you can go ahead for updating your vCenter server. In administration part, we could see what is my password by default. Like if you want to change, you can change the current password. Password expires in 90 days by default. If you want to set it, any email notification, if you configure your mail server. So for now, password will expire on 28 May. So if I would say password expire no, yes, then it will be unlimited time. Syslog, if we have some additional log server where we wants to export the log, we can configure that detail. For backup, so if we wants to configure the backup, for that we require Stargate, FTP, SSTP or server. If I will configure the backup, I have to give all the details for the backup server, username, password. If there is some encrypted password, do that. Okay, and backup retention for last how many hours you want. What is the schedule, daily, weekly, custom, whatever you want to set. If you say daily at this time, so automatically the backup configuration will be forwarded to the backup server that you have configured here, but this backup will be taken only your vCenter configuration backup. When I say configuration backup, it is not the image level backup. It will just push the configuration, whatever is available inside your vCenter. If you want to restore that backup, you have to follow the steps. Go ahead, deploy a new vCenter server, choose the option restore from here and give the path from your backup. So what it's going to do, it will deploy a new vCenter server appliance and it will restore the backup configuration, whatever backup you have been configured in the from the WAMI console. Yes, Mr. Parveen, are you clear to your question or still you have? Parveen, are you there? Praveen, are you there, my child? If you are speaking, please unmute yourself. Guys, are we clear on this backup tab?
Yes, sir. Yes.
It will just push my backup data to my file, only configuration backup. Again, I'm saying it is not the backup of this appliance image level. What is inside it, it's taking that backup. But if you want to take the image level backup, that also possible. So for that, I don't need to configure anything from here. For that, only my backup tool will configure. Correct? All right, so let me just try to log in vSphere client now. Should work. Yeah, so now it's up. So here I will use the default credentials so far. Administrator @ vSphere local. What I have configured during the build phase, I didn't integrate any Active Directory so far. Exclamation. Login. When you will log in this first time, you will not see anything like this. You will see only this thing. Okay, as a vCenter appliance, there would be nothing. So if you will go shortcuts, you will find all host and cluster, VM template. Suppose that you want to do something with licensing. Click here. It will directly jump you on licensing. If you want to do something on storage part, click here. It will take you to the storage, data center, clusters, how many data stores are available. It will show you all the details. If you want to, these 4 keys are by default shortcuts: host and clusters, VM and templates, then your network. If any of the inventory, if I want to create any folder, like for example, I'm create any folder here, right click, new folder. So if this is host and cluster, then it will only allow to create host and cluster because I am in this section. So I can create the one here, like for test lab cluster. All right, here. So I can make my new cluster, add the host. Same way inside VM template, a particular cluster, I want to create something, data center, new folder. It will allow only create VMN template because I am inside VMN template folder. For example, you say, these are my just test VMs. All right. Okay. So on the basis of requirements, same way for storage network, I can create the folders. If desired, I can create new vCenter itself, new data center, sorry, not vCenter, data center 2, for example. Under data center 2, if you would say boss in data center 2, we would be having 3 clusters, cluster 1, cluster 2. Those features can be enabled later, don't worry about that. Okay, and now if it will allow me to directly add the host within my data center itself, then I can drag them later or directly to my cluster as well. All right. So this is something you will keep on working. You will keep on learning. Go back. Oh, 96% taking quite long time. But today, anyhow, we have to install this entire vCenter server. Okay. Yeah, till that time, if I have some doubts, some queries, guys, please feel free to ask. These are showing red because of these hosts are in shutdown state so far. You could see these are the hosts which are in shutdown state, right? You guys also create one ESXi, correct? Is that the one? Shall I power it on? Yes, let's do it, and let's try to connect in vCenter. So Siva, you still have control, right? All right, so go to this vCenter and just okay, so let me delete it. Delete. Yes. Delete this data center inventory. It's fine. So time being, I am stopping your control. Who else have the access? Who is logged in from laptop? Anyone else? Everyone is from phone.
Yes, sir.
Then I have to give control to Siva again. Siva, let's try to make something here. So now you have control. Right click on your vCenter server and create new data center. Just type lab-data center. Shiva, you there? Hey, where is that? Shiva, are you there? Hello, Shiva, are you there? No, I don't think so. Okay, guys. So fortunately, we have complete the first page, first stage. Then let's continue this. So even we can close this, that's also fine. And we can start from the WAMI console, second stage. But if it's, let's complete it, okay? From here only. But if in case by any chance you have closed it, you want to do second stage later, then you can just log in with the 5480 and from there you can start this stage 2 as well. Okay. But we will complete in one shot, this one. So let it continue for second stage. So now you could see stage 1 is completed. We are moving ahead for stage 2. Next, time synchronization. If we want to enable it, we can, or we can synchronize our time with the available NTP server or with the ESXi host. So for now, I am doing synchronized time with my ESXi host. If we want to enable SSH, we can enable during deployment itself. All right. Next, SSO configuration, right? This is the main thing. If we want to use the existing SSO or we want to create the new SSO domain. All right, let it continue
Right, sir.
from there. So, Siva, are you back?
Yes, sir.
Where were you? I was calling you multiple times.
No, just I got a call. Oh, sorry.
Okay, no problem. So, I have already given you control.
Yes.
So, this is the default single sign-on domain name. If you want to give another name, we can give also. But yes, just type the same name, vSphere.local. We will use the same.
We give the same.
Yes. Type the same thing you are seeing in the text. This text is for reference only, but you have to type actual one. SPHERE vSphere.local. Okay, so here we are creating the new SSO. That's why we have to give the new name. If in case we want to use the existing one, then probably you can see here is a tab join an existing SSO domain, right? So single sign-on password, we will use our standard password, capital V MWARE one exclamation. Just yeah, fine. Put it, check it once. Yeah, correct. Repeat the same characters again. Yeah, next. It's match, otherwise it will show you error. Yeah, so we are not joining existing one, we are creating the new one. So click next. Yeah, join customer improvement program, like they will send you the some online details with respect to this vCenter. Then next. So whatever configuration we have done, it's again showing you that details. All right, second stage, SSO details and all, you can drag it down. But if you miss something, go back and correct that. Then if everything is fine, then finish and it will complete the stage 2. Just click on finish. Hope we are good with all the things what we have set up so far. So once you will start it, it is telling you, yeah, you cannot cancel or stop in between. Yeah, click OK. But we should cross finger as my light should not go. All right. Yeah, about light it is fine, but for recording may interrupt. Hey, where is that?
I think he has cancelled it.
Hey.
No, I didn't cast. I said okay, right?
No. You click the cross button.
No, I didn't click anything.
Is it?
No, I didn't touch the mouse at all. Only
Then maybe it will come in some seconds. Let's wait.
Yeah, can you restore the window size? No, I believe we click on finish only.
yes. Finish and I given okay, sir.
Yeah. Can I see something in task manager? One moment. I'm just stopping sharing for a moment. No running task.
Sir, it got cancelled actually. We need to run it again from Wami.
In task manager, I'm not seeing anything inside this host. So don't. This is in progress. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So what I did, I just log in into Wami console and just to check the status. So it's already in progress. But I wondered maybe some cross, maybe during restore window cross button is pressed, maybe that because of that. But yeah, that's fine anyway. We could see from here. Let it be continue. So meanwhile, let's go back to the original one. So I was telling to create some inventories from there. So yeah, Shiva, you can go ahead and just right click on the vCenter, creating new data center, vSphere Lab DC. Shiva,
Yes.
right click on vCenter, create new data center. Yeah, give the name of vSphere Lab -DC.
Okay, sir.
-DC.
This one, okay, sir.
Click OK. Okay, now data center being created. Inside this data center, let's create a cluster. Right click. New cluster. Yeah, give the name vSphere Lab -cluster.
What, sir?
vSphere Lab -cluster.
Please.
Lab, vSphere Lab. One moment. Just use the same ID key. vSphere Lab. One moment. Let me type. Cluster. For now, I'm not enabling any feature. We'll do it later. And you remember we have started one host, so we can add the host as well. Right click, add host, give the detail.
Excuse me, sir. I'm getting on call. I'll come back.
No problem, no problem. So what was the IP? Anyone remember what IP we have given to that host?
Sure. I initiate your allocation. Okay. It's with
I think 31.
Okay,
Yes,
okay.
21, eh? Host IP is 21. vCenter IP that was, right? So 21 root password. That's pretty easy. You can add multiple hosts together as well. But let's
Sure,
add
sure. Understand.
ESX I01 dot vmlab dot local. That was your host, right? ESXi
Oh, I
0.
should not attend any interview, right?
Okay.
Okay.
Next. Yeah, accept the SSHA footprint. And okay. Next. Finish. In that way, you would be able to like keep on
Okay.
adding the ESXi hosts in the cluster.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
So what we did, we just add one host, and in the same way, we will keep on adding another hosts. Right. So yeah, let's keep it for maintenance mode for now. Check the status of deployment. It is 53% so far. For two labs, we are running in parallel, the center configuration as well as the installation. Installation is about to complete, and post installation, what we need to do. Now you guys are pretty much aware with this. So in next session, we will keep on seeing the another options with respect to vCenter server. These are the permissions, configuration, high availability, and all, right? So under menu, administration. In administration, you could see the tab licenses. So by default, I'm using my evaluation license. So if you want to add the new key, add, give the key details, next, finish, then add the respective keys. Then once it will be available, go to products, then you will find the list of assets, select that and assign the license key if you have the original license key available. Okay, you could see here the evaluation license will get expired in next 57 days. Okay, so till the evaluation we have, till the time we have the full access, this license type we are using as an standard license for the vCenter server. And let us check what is the available license for my ESXi host. So if I will go to this individual host, under configure, license would be here. This is evaluation again. It will got expire on 23 April. But by default, all the available features I can use till that time. So for individual host, I can assign license from here as well, but also from the administration tab. Okay. So now you could see too many options are available at host level. All right. Too many options are available on cluster level. So that's all on the basis of requirement and uses. We have to go and we have to select the individual option there. All right. Parveen, are you there? Where is this guy? Yeah? I'm calling him multiple times. So I think stage 2 is being completed. And now I have opened here the, or I can put a FQDN itself. What was the FQDN you have made? VCS2 dot. It was the lab VCS2, correct? Dot vmlab.com. Yeah, so you could see here everything is fine. Was that the FQDN lab VCS2? Okay, so 5480. No, it's not resolving the name. One more. Let us check the. So if either I can put FQDN also, launch, and when I will launch it, it will be the empty one. root. So here I should use the SSO username and password, that is administrator@vsphere.local. In WAMI, I should use root credential, but here on vSphere client portal, I should use the credentials what I have given during the deployment. All right. So this will log in as an vSphere client, but there won't be nothing except one inventory, that is your vCenter server name itself. All right. So it will looks like an empty. And again, if I have to create something here, data center 01, 02, whatever. So that's all you will keep on doing. So this demo is only for deployment purpose. As I said, we will be using another vCenter server that's already being deployed in our environment. Yeah, that's it from today's session and from deployment perspective. If you have any question, please feel free to ask. Are we good? Now you guys capable to deploy the vCenter server?
Yes, sir.
Cool. Sounds good. So, okay. Let me just shut it down. But again, I'm saying this, I just showcase you for demo purpose. I am going to use this vCenter server, VCS one, for future labs perspective. Like tomorrow, we are doing some another modules. Those are role-based access control, permissions, and all. Okay, that all we will perform on the secondary one. But now you have a recorded session with you. You can go back and you can check the way of deploying the vCenter server. All right. All right, guys, have a good day. Let's connect back tomorrow at same time, and we'll try to cover rest of the pending modules of vCenter servers along with labs. But vCenter is something that you will every day you will keep on working on that. Okay.
Yes.
Bye-bye. Have a good day.
Yes. Thank you, sir.
Bye-bye. Parveen, I have sent you that on another email ID, right? Recordings and all.